This is Robyn Rocket calling Earth. This is Robyn Rocket calling Earth. Come in, Earth. Oh, there you are. Hello, Earth. This is Robyn Rocket speaking to you from Café OTO. I've made this special radio show so that you have something to listen to while the audience is arriving at Café OTO in London and you're at home or wherever you are watching this stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Robyn of Robyn's Rocket, and Robyn's Rocket is very important to me. And one of the reasons it's important to me is because it's bringing people together, and it's bringing particularly people with learning disabilities and autistic people together with people from Café OTO and the Total Refreshment Centre and the wider London music scene. And it's bringing people together in a way where everyone is an equal and is able to participate, or at least that's what I'm aiming at as much as possible. And if you have any feedback about how we can make Robyn's Rocket better, please feel free to write in the comments. We also have a Survey Monkey, and yeah, or you can always email me. We're always really pleased to hear from people, and critical feedback is very helpful because it helps us to do things better. Anyway, on with the show. So in this 30-minute segment before the live acts begin, we've got some great music coming up tonight. We've got Danny Makes Music, and then we've got Clive Bell with Betamax and Rai Wong, and we've got Clémentine March, and then there's EP launch, my EP. It's part of my Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of project. It's one of 5 EPs coming out this year in 2024. And so in this segment, I just thought I'd tell you a bit about how I began kind of making music, because if you see me play, I call it space trumpet, I play trumpet through guitar pedals. But before I was doing that, I was using a computer program, which I still use, called Logic Pro, and I was sampling my voice, and then I was putting it onto a keyboard. Now, there's 3 types of keyboards. One is the one that you type letters on, that's got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. But then there's another one for making music, and there's 2 types of that. There's one that makes noise by itself, it has speakers in it, and there's one that's called a MIDI controller, and what that means is that you can choose an instrument on the computer, and then the keyboard allows you to control that instrument. And so that's what I was doing with my voice. I was putting my voice into the computer, and then by pressing different keys on the keyboard, I could change the pitch of my voice, and I could put effects through it. And that's kind of how I started experimenting. And so I'm going to play you a track now. It's called Stamp, and this is one of the first things that I made on Logic Pro. That was Stamp by me, Robyn Rocket. Hello! You are tuning in to the Robyn Rocket's live stream. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, everyone is coming into Café OTO, all the audience are coming in. And rather than having to watch that, I made a radio show, which is what you're listening to now, before the live acts begin. That was Stamp. It was one of the first things that I made on the computer. Another thing I made around that time was called Going Through the Emotions. And I then basically what happened was I discovered a tape of me when I was about 8 singing songs that I was making up with my friend Alexandra, and I used that and I put it into the computer and manipulated it a bit, and then started adding different sounds onto it. And yeah, that I made this track called Going Through the Emotions, and it's kind of about how autistic people sometimes can struggle to make sense of social situations. And when I was about that age, someone had said something that was kind of off, they hadn't meant to be unkind, but it had come across that way to me and it had upset me, and just it caused a lot of confusion. And I feel like this is kind of can illustrate what it might feel like for an autistic person. I'm autistic, obviously everyone is different, but this was my interpretation of what it feels like to get things wrong socially and feel a bit confused by everything.
To you, and they are licking now. it's only a joke. And I said, oh, that's a really good joke. I really liked It's one of my best songs. Oh, now you can hear some more on my piano.
Left and keep walking until I reach the paper. Stop. Shop.
We're firm friends. And guess what? She's become Oliver, and now she says my bloody was wonderful. Anyway, afterwards, because of that, I know I felt a bit upset. She said my brain is stupid, but she said she'd been to my brownie, but I asked Brown Owl, and Brown Owl said I hadn't had anyone.
Hello, this is Robyn Rocket. That was a track I made when I first started working on the computer called Going Through the Emotions. Thanks for tuning in to the stream of Robyn's Rocket. We'll be starting soon. Live music starts at 8 p.m. UK time. But in the meantime, I will be here to keep you company and to talk about my process. So around that time, I also was introduced to the experimental hip-hop group Clouded. You spell it small c and the rest of it is all one word, capital letters. And I was also going to noise gigs, and my friend Niall Spooner Harvey is a performance poet and I was seeing him. And then I started making these kind of stories / poems, and I made this EP that Andy Diagram, who's a very big influence to me because he's who I learnt how to put trumpet through guitar pedals from. That's who inspired me to do it. He very kindly mixed and mastered my first EP, and it was called New York, and I made this track called Roses, which is this kind of crazy story. Anyway, here's Roses.
The son was pissed off because he hadn't been used lately after he had an argument with a bed of roses who insisted on having 90 degrees sunlight at 6 p.m. last Tuesday. The son said that this was not a reasonable request due to there being other people who needed the sun and it being more complicated, so they filed a complaint. Well, the daffodils last week lost a complaint. Clouds. Hamish complained a lot. But before the angel had run the course, the result was that the roses made a complaint. And they were pissed off. And so they pulled up their skirts and they walked off. And they disappeared from where they should have been. And this meant that Hugo Dapper Dashing could not pick a rose on Monday for May or Tuesday for Claire. In fact, each of his girlfriends were roseless.
That was Roses by me, Robyn Rocket. Hello, you're listening to the Robyn Rocket radio show that is in the live stream just before the live band start at Café OTO, because if we were just live streaming everyone coming in, I thought that'd be a bit boring. I thought this would be more interesting. I'm going to finish this part of the stream with 2 tracks, both by me. The first is when I first started using pedals, they were on the computer. They were like digital computer pedals. And the second is, if you've ever watched a stream before, you'll know that there's a bit of music that I play. It's a track that I made with my friend Rosie Ridgway, who's also tonight, she's artist support for Danny, who's playing first. And Rosie and I made this track, and it's called So Glad I'm Home. So, space section, then So Glad I'm Home. Then we'll be live at Café OTO. Thanks for tuning in to the Robyn's Rocket stream and supporting Robyn's Rocket. OTO. This is Robyn Rocket calling Café OTO. This is Robyn Rocket calling a Café OTO. This is Robyn Rocket calling Café OTO. Hello, Café OTO, are you there? Well, this is a very quiet Café OTO for 113 people. This is Robyn Rocket calling Café OTO. Are you there? Oh, yeah! Okay, hello! I'm Robyn Rocket. Welcome to Robyn's Rocket. You're very welcome here. Hello to everybody who's watching at home. And if you think, when you come from this, if you think, oh, I'd like to see something again, you can watch it on YouTube. You can go to the website, robynsrocket.com, and you can watch it. But hello, if you're tuning in on YouTube, I want to say a special hello to Karina. Karina worked every show between like 2019 and 2022. I think she missed one in that time, and she's off travelling around, recording in like Greenland and London and all sorts of places. And I just want you to know, Karina, that we all here really love you, and we're very thankful for what you brought to Robyn's Rocket, and we deeply miss you, and we hope that you'll come back one day soon. I also want to say a big shout out to Capital K over in Malta. Because I just wanted to say hello. But hello to everybody else watching, because I'm really glad that you're here. For those of you that have never been to Robyn's Rocket before, we've got a timetable. Some people like me like to know what's going to happen, but also it works for the streaming audience. It kind of has a lot of uses that until you start running shows you don't realise. But tonight we've got 4 acts. We've got Danny, D.M.S. Yeah, performing some new songs. She's got a comic on the merch table. We've got Clive Bell, Betamax, and Rai Wong as a trio. That's like amazing. That's like, you know, if you were going to dream up a trio, that'd be it. And then we've got Clémentine March. Yes, with new songs. And then we've got my EP launch. So I've been doing... Thank you. Oh, thank you. So I've been doing this project called Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of, where I invited about 25 different musicians over 3 days in random groups to jam with me in 3 different studios. And we made about 10 tracks. But rather than put an album out, I thought I'll do 5 EPs. I'll make life harder for myself. Of course, that's obviously what I would do. And then, but I'm not going to do CDs. Oh, no, I'm going to find something unique to do for each one. So this one, I showed this to my parents, and they were just like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know what it is, but this is what I'm doing. So rather than getting a physical CD, you can go onto my Bandcamp and you can stream it. Robyn Rocket, ROBYN space Rocket, spelt the usual way. But if you want to buy something physical, you can buy one of these cards and you get a bit of paper that's got a download link. The download link is live for 7 days. If you miss that 7-day period, just send me an email. But these cards, they stand up by themselves, and the idea for me was this is boat doors, so there's a kind of boat and sea theme within this project, which I'll talk about later. And so this is like boat doors. You're on a boat and you open it and then you're on the sea. So I made these. I think I made about 10 of them, but there might be 11. I'm incredibly bad at numbers, so I don't exactly know. But I know I've got enough download links. I'm selling them for £5, but if you think that's not worth £5, then just tell the merch people and you just tell them how much you're going to pay for it. That's totally fine by me. Like, I've never done this before, so I really don't know what to expect, but I wanted to have a way of physically, so that you could, because not everybody wants something that is just, not everyone wants something that is just purely digital. Sometimes people want something that they can hold in their hands. So I wanted to offer that, but also I have done CDRs in the past, but I find CDRs often they don't last that long, but also then you just get millions of them, and I just don't want to have loads of things that people don't want to buy. There's also, if any of you have listened to my radio show, there's a new zine. I'm selling these for £3, but if you don't have £3 but you really want one, you can have one. Same as the other comic, like, people have given me a £5 for it in the past, but if you think a £5 is too much, then you can give them £3 or just take one like that. The Arts Council subsidise these things. When you give me money, then I can put it into doing more projects. But like for me, it's not. I haven't taken out a loan to do this. The Arts Council have made it possible. And what's really important to me is being able to spread the work of different artists, and I'm really big on bringing together artists with learning disabilities and autistic artists into mainstream spaces. That's important to me. So however that spread is important to me, because everybody should be listened to, and the more we come together and listen to each other, the more empathy we have for each other, the great. So here is D.M.S. Danny! Robyn's Rocket. My work is about bringing people with and without learning disabilities, autistic and neurodivergent and non-autistic and neurotypical people together at gigs, both as audience and artists. I made this zine too. Talk about why this work is important, share the work of artists I interviewed on my radio show, Robyn's Rocket Zoom Zoom. Neurodivergent. Neurodivergent means that someone's brain works differently. Being neurodivergent could also mean you experience the world differently. For example, through your senses, interactions, and the way you work or process information. Everyone is different. Why is this work important? Some history. From the 1800s until the 1980s, people with learning disabilities and autistic people were often sent to live in long-stay hospitals. The hospitals were big, without enough staff to properly care for everyone. People living there were not supported to live full lives or respected as people. Only their most basic needs were met. People's families often did not visit them. They were left in the hospitals and forgotten about. People would live there from childhood until the end of their life. In 1990, a new law called the Community Care Act came into effect. The law meant long-stay hospitals closed down. People were moved to live in the community in smaller care homes. During the day, many of these people now attended day centres. Although day centres were better than the hospitals, there were not many interesting and meaningful activities to do. Eventually, artists started to visit day centres and run creative workshops. They also took people into the wider community. The artists began to believe and see the potential in people they were working with. Some artists teamed up with people who went to the day centres and started organisations with and for people with learning disabilities to show the wider world what they can do. This is how Heart and Soul started. Heart and Soul is an arts organisation that believes in the power and talents of people with learning disabilities and autistic people. Through their programs, people can develop and share the amazing art and music they create. People with learning disabilities were also supported to start advocacy organisations, to become artists and to be part of the community. Now you know a bit about why this work is important, it's time to meet some of the artists I interviewed on my radio show. You will find out a bit about each artist and how they started making music. What is my radio show about? Robyn's Rocket Zoom Zoom is a radio and podcast series. It is made by myself and Paul Dutnell from Carousel Radio. In my radio show, I interviewed artists with learning disabilities, autistic artists, and artists without disabilities together, because I think everyone should be together. I think that when different types of people are able to do things together, it makes everything better. Robyn, she, her. I play solo with Dean Rodney Jr. and the Cowboys and Lost Socks. I am neurodivergent. I am supported by Heart and Soul. I started playing a small trumpet called the cornet, age 8. I stopped playing when I was 15 because I was finding learning very hard. When I was 27, I met a teacher called Tony Douglas. He taught me how to learn music without it being written down. In 2017, I saw a band called Spaceheads, Andy Diagram and Richard Harrison, play. This is what inspired me to put my trumpet through guitar pedals. Now I do that too, and I call it space trumpet. Alabaster de Plume, aka Gus Fairburn. His pronouns are he, him. When Gus was in college, he met a strange family of friends. He spent 7 years with them. They thought they were better than everyone else, and this made Gus feel very alone. Now his music and art are about bringing people, as many people as possible, together. Gus once lived with a group of guitarists. He had started playing the saxophone and he would practice so he could play quiet enough to play with them. This is why he plays with the sound he does. Danalog, aka Dan Levers. He, him. He plays solo, The Comet is Coming and Soccer 96. Dan learnt saxophone and had the same teacher as Shabaka. Later, Shabaka and Dan ended up playing together in The Comet is Coming, but they did not know each other when they were having lessons with the same teacher. As a young person, Dan wanted to either work with reptiles or be a musician. Danalog's name comes from two words being put together. Dan, because his name is Dan, and analog. This means technology that does not use a computer. Dan plays synths, which is short for synthesizer. They are like keyboards. They are analog because they do not use a computer to make sounds. Clémentine March. Her pronouns are she, her. She plays solo and with Bassian. Clémentine grew up in France and she's also lived in Brazil, and now she lives in London. Clémentine played violin when she was a kid. As well as being a musician, Clémentine has a law degree and also studied filmmaking. Capital K, aka Christian Craig Robinson. His pronouns are he, him. Christian spent part of his childhood in Brunei, in Asia. He is half Maltese. A friend helped him give out his demo cassette tape and he got signed to a record label. In the early 2010s, Christian built and he's recently left, but when I wrote this, he was still running the studio at the Total Refreshment Centre in Stoke Newington in North London. But if you want to book the TRC, the Total Refreshment Centre studio, you can still request Christian, and he will be coming back from Malta from time to time to do recording. Jem plays with Gemma Freeman and the Cosmic Something, My Heterosexual Violence and Guts. Oh, and Wendy Ray Fowler, and their pronouns are they, them. To get the attention of kids at school who like metal, they drew the Slipknot logo on their bag. This got them noticed and invited to see Slipknot's first ever UK gig. Jem worked in charity shops while doing music, all the way up to managing a whole shop. They were in a band who got a 1-year contract with a music publisher. This meant they could be a musician as their full-time job. They still had very little money, so they lived in a tiny bedroom. They had a mezzanine bed so they could fit their guitars underneath it. Solo. R is neurodivergent. Oh, and I should say that Jem is also neurodivergent. R Dyer's pronouns are they, them. R grew up in a family who were evangelical Christians. R felt that there was some music that was off limits to listen to. As they got older, they could listen to more types of music, and eventually they learned to play lots of instruments. Once they were part of a orchestra. R likes ASMR sounds. These are low-level sounds that can make you feel relaxed or your body feel nice. An example of a ASMR sound is the sound of a fridge in a supermarket. R often records and uses these types of sounds in their work. Ruby. Ruby Green, F Choir, and Jenny Moore's Mystic Business. Ruby's pronouns are she, her. One of Ruby's most important possessions is a green piano that used to be her dad's. The piano is an early cross between a keyboard and a piano, and each string has a kind of microphone on it. It can be packed into 2 boxes and carried around. Ruby studied art at university and did performances everywhere from art galleries to pubs. Ruby liked how the audience at a pub is more honest. She said if they get bored, they'll just go to the bar and get a pint. Rosie Plain. Solo, and this is the kit. Her pronouns are she, her. She made her own guitar while she was on work experience age 15. And when Rosie moved to London, she lived on a boat. Instead of paying rent, she painted the boat. Electric Fire. Electric Fire band members are Alicia, she, her, Ahima, he, him, Sam, he, him, William, he, him, and Electric Fire are supported by Heart and Soul. When I interviewed them, they are being supported by Richard Phoenix, whose pronouns are he, him. Electric Fire met at Do Your Own Thing, a monthly creative session for young people with learning disabilities, run by Heart and Soul. When Will first came to Do Your Own Thing, he was encouraged to play the bass and the drums so he could help create a groove at jam sessions. Ahima gets his face painted for each gig. The face paint is inspired by wrestlers' face paint. Mark Williams and Pino Frumento. Their pronouns are both he, him, and they are co-founders of Heart and Soul, which means they helped start Heart and Soul. When Mark left education, he was playing in bands. He discovered that musicians could earn money by running workshops with different groups of people. When Pino left school, he was sent to a day centre. He found it boring. There wasn't much to do. One day, Mark was asked to run a workshop for the people at Pino's day centre. Mark liked the vibe of the group. One day, Pino made up a song to go with some chords Mark was playing. It was the first time Pino had ever written his own song. Mark and Pino's workshop group started meeting up at MIDI Music. They were then asked to do a residency at the Albany Theatre in Deptford. They began putting on their own shows using the theatre's professional sound system and lighting, and this is how Heart and Soul began. Over 3 decades have passed since Pino wrote his first song with Mark. He's now written lots of songs and sung them all over the world. Heart and Soul is still a resident at the Albany Theatre and works with a community of over 200 people. And that's the end of the Robyn's Rocket Zoom Zine. Thank you for listening. You can find out and reprinted one zine and made a new zine. We did one jam ship at the Buzzcut Festival in Glasgow. And I made 12 radio shows and 12 podcasts. Still to come tonight is Clive Bell, Betamax and Rai Wong and Clémentine March and Robyn Rocket's EP launch. Hello, this is Robyn Rocket and I'm reading the Robyn's Rocket Zoom Zine. Hello, I'm Robyn Rocket. I play space trumpet, I make visual art and I put on gigs called Robyn's Rocket. My work is about bringing people with and without learning disabilities, autistic and neurodivergent and non-autistic and neurotypical people together at gigs, both as audience and artists. I made this zine too. Talk about why this work is important, share the work of artists I interviewed on my radio show, Robyn's Rocket Zoom Zoom. Neurodivergent. Neurodivergent means that someone's brain works differently. Being neurodivergent could also mean you experience the world differently. For example, through your senses, interactions, and the way you work or process information. Everyone is different. Why is this work important? Some history. From the 1800s until the 1980s, people with learning disabilities and autistic people were often sent to live in long-stay hospitals. The hospitals were big, without enough staff to properly care for everyone. People living there were not supported to live full lives or respected as people. Only their most basic needs were met. People's families often did not visit them. They were left in the hospitals and forgotten about. People would live there from childhood until the end of their life. In 1990, a new law called the Community Care Act came into effect. The law meant long-stay hospitals closed down. People were moved to live in the community in smaller care homes. During the day, many of these people now attended day centres. Although day centres were better than the hospitals, there were not many interesting and meaningful activities to do. Eventually, artists started to visit day centres and run creative workshops. They also took people into the wider community. The artists began to believe and see the potential in people they were working with. Some artists teamed up with people who went to the day centres and started organisations with and for people with learning disabilities to show the wider world what they can do. This is how Heart and Soul started. Heart and Soul is an arts organisation that believes in the power and talents of people with learning disabilities and autistic people. Through their programs, people can develop and share the amazing art and music they create. People with learning disabilities were also supported to start advocacy organisations, to become artists and to be part of the community. Now you know a bit about why this work is important, it's time to meet some of the artists I interviewed on my radio show. You will find out a bit about each artist and how they started making music. What is my radio show about? Robyn's Rocket Zoom Zoom is a radio and podcast series. It is made by myself and Paul Dutnell from Carousel Radio. In my radio show, I interviewed artists with learning disabilities, autistic artists, and artists without disabilities together, because I think everyone should be together. I think that when different types of people are able to do things together, it makes everything better. Robyn, she, her. I play solo with Dean Rodney Jr. and the Cowboys and Lost Socks. I am neurodivergent. I am supported by Heart and Soul. I started playing a small trumpet called the cornet, age 8. I stopped playing when I was 15 because I was finding learning very hard. When I was 27, I met a teacher called Tony Douglas. He taught me how to learn music without it being written down. In 2017, I saw a band called Spaceheads, Andy Diagram and Richard Harrison, play. This is what inspired me to put my trumpet through guitar pedals. Now I do that too, and I call it space trumpet. Alabaster de Plume, aka Gus Fairburn. His pronouns are he, him. When Gus was in college, he met a strange family of friends. He spent 7 years with them. They thought though they were better than everyone else, and this made Gus feel very alone. Now his music and art are about bringing people, as many people as possible, together. Gus once lived with a group of guitarists. He had started playing the saxophone and he would practice so he could play quiet enough to play with them. This is why he plays with the sound he does. Danalog, aka Dan Levers, he, him. He plays solo, The Comet is Coming, and Soccer 96. Dan learnt saxophone and had the same teacher as Shabaka. Later, Shabaka and Dan ended up playing together in The Comet is Coming, but they did not know each other when they were having lessons with the same teacher. As a young person, Dan wanted to either work with reptiles or be a musician. Danalog's name comes from two words being put together. Dan, because his name is Dan, and analog. This means technology that does not use a computer. Dan plays synths, which is short for synthesizer. They are like keyboards. They are analog because they do not use a computer to make sounds. Clémentine March. Her pronouns are she, her. She plays solo and with Bassian. Clémentine grew up in France and she's also lived in Brazil, and now she lives in London. Clémentine played violin when she was a kid. As well as being a musician, Clémentine has a law degree and also studied filmmaking. Capital K, aka Christian Craig Robinson. His pronouns are... Café OTO, this is Robyn Rocket. Come in, Café OTO. I'm sure there were more people here half an hour ago and the room looks busier. Come in, Café OTO. Hello. All right. Well, our next act is Clive Bell, Betamax and Rai Wong. That's an amazing trio. Betamax and Clive. Clive is Betamax's dad. Yeah, they're amazing musicians. Rai Wong, also an amazing musician. You might have seen his artwork on covers like work by like Alabaster de Plume, and recently there's a thing on Bandcamp Friday, like a limited edition print. Anyway, you're not here to hear me waffle on about them. You're here to listen to them play. So please welcome Clive Bell, Betamax, and Rai Wong.
Yeah, thanks, Robyn. I'm Clive. This is Ray. He's not here yet. This is Max. Thanks. I'd like to say hello to all the people watching online. You probably think we've forgotten about you, but we haven't. We know you're there. And I got to say, I really like what you've done with your room, actually. That's really, that thing on the ceiling, that's pretty good. I wouldn't have thought of doing that. That's very good. Thanks for watching and listening. Thank you. I think one more should sort it out. Ray, Max, and Clive. Thank you.
It was amazing! That was amazing. Thanks so much, Ray and Clive and Max. That was an amazing, amazing set. I know that we've run out of rocket badges. I know, I'm sorry. But I will make some more in the break because we've got a 20-minute break. But the deal with me making these rocket badges is those of you that don't have one are going to have to wear one. The point of the rocket badge is you might be like, oh, but I don't need a rocket badge because I don't have any problems communicating. I either don't want to talk to anyone or I want to talk to everyone. But there are people that find communication much harder. So when you wear a rocket badge, you're helping everybody. So Cleo on the door tells me that we're 8 short. I've found materials. I reckon I can make 8. So I'm going to do it in the break. Well, we need 10. Right, well, I'll make 10 in the break. The break is 20 minutes. I reckon it won't take me very long. That was an amazing set. Big up also to Rucksack Cinema and Samir for the live visuals. Want to give a big up to Richard Phoenix on the stream. Sean Crook on sound. James Dunn on sound. Una and David on cameras. Flora, and I do this every time. There's 2 people at the bar, and one of them is called Flora. Laura. Dora. And Clara, I never remember. Dora and Clara, like every time I forget. I'm so sorry. Like I'm not very good at remembering names, and it's always someone different. And then we've got Cleo and Franklin and Ono on the merch. I think that's everybody. So in this break, you can buy stuff from the bar, and I really just want to say, Café OTO, look around you, see how many people there are in this room. There is over 120 people in this room. When we started, we sold 28 tickets. I am not good at maths and numbers, but I can see that there's 100 people difference between those 2 numbers, right? Café OTO continued to allow, they continue to programme Robyn's Rocket, even though to start off with, we didn't have many people. So now that there's lots of people, please, if you can, support Café OTO. You don't have to buy alcohol. They sell soft drinks, they sell tea, they sell cakes, they sell biscuits, probably. They sell all kinds of things at the bar. They sell the Wire magazine, all kinds of things. Please support them because they supported us. And ultimately, that means you could be here tonight. You can also go to the merch table. You can also, if you're at home and you want Heart and Soul merch, you can go to heartandsoul.co.uk/shop. But if you're here in person, we've got loads of merch, including the new Robyn's Rocket multicoloured T-shirts, they're 20 quid, and the single colour T-shirts are a tenner. There's zines, there's the EP things, all kinds of stuff. So feel free to look at the merch table. There's no pressure to buy anything. I have sometimes felt like I couldn't look at the merch table because it was inaccessible. So I just want to encourage everyone to have as nice a time as possible. Right, I'm going to make rocket badges, and then in 20 minutes we'll have Clémentine March. Video also by Robyn Rocket. This is Robyn Rocket from the past, because I'm making this on the night before Robyn's Rocket, which means it's the night before the launch of my first EP for my project, Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of, and it's called the Gentle EP, and it's got 2 tracks. And in this break, you can see these 2 videos. The first one is for the first track, and I'm playing piano and trumpet, although not at the same time, and it's called You Choose What You Do With Your Power. And it's about it's a story where there's somebody who's sailing on a boat and their boat gets attacked by a demon, and somebody else who's sailing on the sea sees this happening, and they come over and they say, hey, would you like to come on my boat away from that demon? And so the person jumps onto this other person's boat and they sail away from the demon. And then years later, the person who got rescued before, she sees the same thing happening to someone else. They see someone sailing whose boat has been eaten by a demon, and they're like, hey, do you want to come on my boat? And so each person in turn helps someone else going through the same situation. So You Choose What You Do With Your Power is about how you can use your power individually as a person, and your impact might be small. It might not be to the outside world, it might not seem like a big deal, but to the individual person that you affect, it is a big deal. Like you choose how you make other people feel, because if you're horrible to people, they'll feel bad, and if you're kind to people, hopefully they'll feel better. So You Choose What You Do With Your Power is really, it's about that. It's that you choose what you do with your power, and that everybody has an ability to have an impact both positively and negatively on those around them. And then On Connection is about being connected to people. And this whole project, Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of, is bringing together 20 plus musicians from regulars who play at Café OTO, people from the Total Refreshment Centre, and people from Heart and Soul, who are an arts charity based in South East London, who believe in the power and talents of people with learning disabilities and autistic people. In some parts of the world, people say intellectual disability rather than saying learning disability. And sometimes I think that the learning disability and autism music scene ends up being in a bit of a silo, and I wanted to bring people together because I know that people being together is a good thing, because like what I said before about you choose what you do with your power, and that, you know, if we're together and we're learning about each other and we have greater empathy for one another because we're learning about each other, then that can only be a good thing. But also because the ideas that I see from my fellow heart and soul artists are inspiring to me, and I want their ideas and their art to be out there more. So the idea of Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of is that you may well have heard of different people who are on this album, or well, it's not an album, it's 5 EPs. On this project, you may have heard of some of them, but then you'll also discover new people. So on this track, there's 7 people. There's me, Alabaster de Plume, Donna Thompson, Mark Williams, Will King, Mikey Chestnut, and Danalog. You choose what you do with your power. Part of Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of. Trumpet and piano by Robyn Rocket. Video also by Robyn Rocket. You're watching the Robyn Rocket live stream. In about 5 minutes, there'll be Clémentine March. Then there'll be a short break, and then it'll be Robyn Rocket's EP launch. Here's another music video. Café OTO, this is Robyn Rocket. Hello, Café OTO, are you there? Oh, well, that doesn't sound very certain. Café OTO, are you there? Hello! Hi, Café OTO. And hello to you at home. Hello, Patrick. Thank you all for tuning in. And also, I did forget to say thank you to someone. I forgot to say thank you to Jackson, who's like the night manager at Café OTO. And it's also, so I've made the 10 extra rocket badges. They are at the desk with Cleo, so please go get them. They are free and you can take them home if you want to. I'm really excited to welcome Clémentine March. She's going to be playing with Ollie, whose surname, I'm sorry, I don't know what Ollie's surname is. Chapin. With Ollie Chapin. And they're going to be playing some of Clémentine's new songs. On the merch table, there is a QR code that you can use your phone with to go to Clémentine's Bandcamp. I don't think you've got any physical merch, no. But I'm really excited for them to play. Clémentine is a real amazing friend to me, but she's also an amazing musician, and so I'm really happy to be able to offer an introduction to you all to her music. After her set, there'll be a 10-minute break, and then there'll be an improvised set with me, Betamax, and Clem. What are you playing in that? Playing guitar, yeah. So here is Clémentine March.
Thank you, Robyn. Before we start, Sean, can I just check if the drum machine is coming through you? It's coming through you. Thanks, everyone. It's a deep honor for me and for Ollie, who is here, to play for you. Words are floating in the air, their meaning can't be lost. The sky is messing the landscape in the wind. The needle drops the melodies, the samples of my life. The flowers dry the curtains in the wind. Can I have more drum machine in my monitors, please? the hot air of the summer, the murmur of the forest. You are everywhere. The day is done, the fields are gone, the old house has been sold. The roaring machine spreading all the dust. Your time is past, you're in the sky, the music that we made. The old black dog is humming in the rain. The hot air of the summer, the murmur of the forest. You are everywhere. Thank you.
The next song is in Portuguese. It's called Lixo Sentimental, which means sentimental trash.
só quero ver seus risos, me consolar, amor perdido, nunca mais, lixo sentimental. Out of my range, dwelling in boredom, losing the plot. Ooh, then you called my name, I wasn't lost. Ooh, another great upheaval. Yes, another great upheaval, and some crazy thoughts taking hold out of my mind. Squeezing the dried fruits into my palm, waiting for your call, sending my love. You pick the flower out of my brain. Ooh, yes, another great upheaval. 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 Yes, another great upheaval, and some crazy thoughts taking hold out of my mind. Thank you. Such a honor to be here. I met Robyn maybe 3 years ago and changed totally my way of thinking many things, and yeah, and I'm so honored as well to play in front of lots of lovely faces I haven't seen before, and it's, yeah, amazing. So thank you, everyone. Love you, Robyn. Thank you to all the people I can't see for like physical reasons on other galaxies. The next song is a love song in French. Yeah, that's what we need. Thank you. Thank you. We have a couple of songs left. Thank you, everyone at Café OTO. As a Londoner since 2015, it's certainly the place I've been going so many times. Can't count them. Thank you to all these lovely people. Another life-changing thing, Café OTO in my life. Yeah. the latest fireworks. We're walking side by side, the rain has soaked a lonely heart. The mountains in the night, the crowd is out of sight. I'm smiling in the dark, the flowers are is beating fast, and then I think I'm falling in love. I can feel your body close to mine. I can feel my world is spinning, looking into your eyes. L'envie de te voir, de vivre, de jouir à l'infini. L'envie de savoir pourquoi l'amour est si fragile. Tes yeux comme un miroir, le jour et puis le soir. Demain c'est bien trop tard. My love is loving child, the rain has burned us little streams. We're following the tide in a perfect intensity. The feathers of the soul, the velvet of your soul, the velvet of your home. The party is alive, the crowd is satisfied, the promises of life. My heart is beating fast, and then I think I'm falling in love. I can feel your body close to mine. I can feel my world is spinning, looking into your eyes. I can feel your body close to mine. I can feel my world is spinning, looking into your eyes. Looking into your eyes. Looking into your Thank you. Thank you so much. We haven't played that one that many times, so we're still on the. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. It's nice. This is Ollie Chapman. So me and Ollie, and so this is a drum machine, but we have a lovely lady called Sophie Lowe on drums. She's back from Mexico in a few weeks' time, and so in the next shows we'll be playing with her. And yeah, so all these songs we've been playing tonight are not released yet because we're still finishing the album, which should be ready not in too long. And so we're going to play the last song, which is also the first song of the album. It's called After the Solstice, and I will be leaving you in excellent company with Robyn launching a beautiful music tonight as an improvisation. The crowds are swinging into the air, a sacred tear. The sky is changing since you've been here. Transistors, memories, sensations, driving all day and no return, forgetting, recycling the future. The night is short, the path is clear. Transistors, memories, sensation. Hands in a prayer, feeling the breeze. The dark clouds appearing in the sea. Hands in a prayer, making a wish, throwing some flowers in the sea. After the solstice, the days are shorter. Since you've been here, my heart is still. The clouds are singing into the air, a sacred tear. The sky is changing since you've been here. Transistors, memories, sensations, driving all day and no return, forgetting, recycling the future. The night is short, the path is clear. Transistors, memories, sensation, driving all day and no return, forgetting, recycling the future. The night is short, the path is clear. Transistors, memories, sensations, driving all day and no return, forgetting, recycling the future. Thank you. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Amazing! Thank you so much! And of course, live visuals from Rucksack Cinema and Samir! Amazing! Thank you so much! It's so lovely to see so many of you here. Thank you so much, Clem, for your beautiful music. And Ollie, and that was amazing. And I can't wait to hear that album. It's amazing to see so many people here. Thank you so much. We've got a short break, it's 10 minutes. I noticed on the merch table there's like 3 of the new zines left. Clem is in the zine, if that makes you want to spend an extra £3. I don't really care about the money, but I want the ideas to go as far as they can. And I know, hello to DB and the International Anthem crew, by the way, if you're watching, because I have a feeling that DB might be tuning in, so hello! Thanks, everyone, for tuning in at home. Thank you all for being here. It is an amazing, from somebody that, when I was at school, nobody wanted to be my friend, and like we go on a school trip, no one wants to be my partner, and now look, somehow, all these people. I know you're not really here to see me, I know that, but the thing is that I think that if we can find a way of more people meeting each other and talking to each other and understanding each other, that's got to be good for everybody on the planet, really. I think that. Thank you so much. Anyway, we've got a 10-minute break. There are a few new rocket badges because I made them, and there's still the merch table with the lovely Cleo, Franklin, and Ono. And yeah, Jenny, also thank you, Jenny, for helping out. And yeah, enjoy this 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with more music. Hi everyone, this is Robyn Rocket from the past, because I'm making this on the night. Café OTO! Café OTO! Are you there? Some of Café OTO's there. Café OTO, are you there? Oh, that's better. Hello, yes, you're definitely there. Hello, everyone at home. I'm Robyn Rocket. So this last set is to launch the first of the 5 EPs I have coming out this year. The project is called Robyn Rocket and People You May Have Heard Of. And the idea was I wanted to invite people from Café OTO, the Total Refreshment Centre, and Heart and Soul to jam with me. And no, it's just It's just Clem and Ollie and Max and myself. We're just gonna play. I just thought so. I made 2 videos for this EP, and the first one is a story, and it's about a person on a boat. And there's a demon trying to eat their boat, and another person sees that, and they say, "Hey, do you want to come on my boat?" And the person says, "Oh, yes, please. That would actually be quite helpful." And then years later, this person sees the same thing happening to another person. They're like, "Oh, they could offer help to that person." And so it's like an onward chain of people supporting each other. And to me, that seems like really important, that it's not just a sort of transactional thing, that we're all trying to support each other. And that's really what you're doing when you come and like support live music, when you buy people's merch. Like, it's all, you know, like, as artists, we love making work for people to hear, but we need money to be able to do that. So it kind of works, it's cyclical, I think they call it, like it goes in a cycle. And so I wanted to, really, I made that little story up, and then I made another video that was just these boats sailing around. And I made the videos 2 years apart, and the second one is kind of better than the first one in a way, but I just thought, like, because all the music on the 5 EPs is all improvised, and it's all different people, and so I decided that I thought that when I do a launch, I don't want to just like invite the same musicians and then try and recreate something, because that wasn't really the spirit of what I was trying to do. So I wanted to just invite a bunch of musicians that I enjoy, and kind of people that I'd never played with before. That's kind of deliberate, because that's an interesting challenge, and it forces you to really connect with the people you're playing with. Rucksack Cinema and Jamie, I think they've got the 2 videos, and they're going to be improvising visually. And also Richard has been using his camera to feed into the live stream, so he's been improvising all night anyway. But yeah, so we're going to play until like sort of 10:50, 10:55, maximum 10:55, but probably be more like 10:50. We don't know what's going to happen. It might be rubbish, and you might be like, "Oh, can you just shut up?" But I suspect that it'll probably be interesting. But the EP, like I said, this one has got the first track's me on my own. The second one has Alabaster de Plume, Donna Thompson, Danalog, Mikey Chestnut, Mark Williams and Will King and myself on it. And it's very deliberate that I didn't invite those people to play in this part of the night with me, because I wanted it to be different people and it to be fresh. So this is us connecting and being musicians, and I hope that you enjoy it. wonderful. Thank you so much. I was wondering about, do I have some story that I could tell? And then I realised, okay, I got two. One is that Rai Wong... Where are you, Ray? There you are. No, it's not an embarrassing story. This is a story of praise. Ray had the first jam that I went to where I felt like I could be myself. He used to put these jams on at this place called Vinyl Deptford. Does anyone remember Vinyl Deptford? Yes, brilliant. Well, that is where Robyn's Rocket started, partly inspired by Ray. Because originally Robyn's Rocket was an improv night, and then it turned into this. The other story I have is that the way I know Betamax is because the Comet has come in, invited me to support them 3 times. That was amazing. And the one time that it was near my mum and dad in Norwich, my mum and dad fell out with security. And then they didn't see the Comet as coming, and I came off stage, and my parents were like, "We're leaving," and I was like, "What? What are you doing? Why?" And they were like, "We'll tell you later." I was like, right, okay. That's an interesting lot of hiss all of a sudden. Anyway, yeah. No, well, what they did, basically, what happened was they had a wheelchair accessible area right next to the stage, and there was also a space against the walls at the back where wheelchair users could stand and be left alone, or sit and be left alone. But they did have 2 spaces that were right by the stage. To be honest, I think the visibility was a bit rubbish. I don't really think it was great. I think they could have done better with their wheelchair accessible area. However, I think because it was a very narrow walkway, because basically to come off the stage you had to walk past that area, so it was really, really narrow, and basically there just wasn't enough room for 2 wheelchairs and 2 people, and my mum was there, and then she's a wheelchair user, and they wouldn't let my dad stand next to her, and she had to have somebody sit next to her that she didn't know, and that wasn't great for her. And I think the venue probably could have designed things a bit better, and I suspect that the staff hadn't had training to learn to speak to people and explain things clearly when there's a lot of loud noise. I just think the situation just wasn't managed very well. But that's the nearest to an anecdote that I can tell you about Betamax. And to be fair, he had nothing to do with it. It's not like he was security, but I felt very privileged to be invited to support the Comet Has Come In, and I feel very privileged that Max said he'd be up for playing here, especially with his dad and Ray. That's amazing, and then improvising with me. So thank you so much. It's been amazing. So thank you so much. Café OTO, because it's a Friday, well, they're always open until midnight anyway, but Café OTO is open until midnight. That's the end of the live music for tonight. As you know, we don't have music piped in so that people can hear themselves chatting, because not everyone finds it easy to have to shout over music, so I kind of think having some time in the evening when you can actually hear each other is quite good. The merch table is still open. There are these, I think I made 10 or 11 of them. They do stand up by themselves, and they've got a WeTransfer code, and you can download the EP. And there's also a QR code if you just want to scan that. There's comics and T-shirts and various things. Thank you so much to all the crew. Thank you to Café OTO. Thank you to you for being here. Thank you to you at home. Thank you to everyone that makes Robyn's Rocket possible. We'll be back on June the 7th with Sue Lynch, Ursula Major Moving Group and Sebastian Golgiri, and of course Rucksack Cinema and Samir. I hope you have a very safe journey home, and then we'll see you in the future. Good night. Thank you so much.